Hello, humans and non-humans alike, and welcome to today's episodes of Living with Monsters. Now, on today's episode, we will be hunting the somewhat eccentric Kulu. Now, the Kulu lives primarily in the wildspire race. However, there have been sightings of individual ones living out in the ancient forests. Don't look at the map. Anyway, now this creature particularly tends to feed only on eggs, and is classified by the Research Commission as a bird wyvern. Now, it's developed to the point where it can pick up eggs and grab things and run off with them very rapidly. In other words, it's not primarily a fighter, and will typically only engage larger monsters if cornered, with no means of escape. Now, while it devours eggs by quickly grabbing and running off with them, it will also pick up any rocks or other spherical objects that it can get its hands on, and use them as weapons to defend itself. Now, ladies and gentlemen, here we have a Kulu. As you can see, because I am not an egg, it is not naturally inclined to attack me, and will honestly just ignore me, thinking I am not a threat, given my relatively small size. However, if you tap it, also nothing. It is a very strange creature. And here, you can see we have more Kestodons. Now, the Kestodons, while there are very few of them in the ancient forest, also primarily live in the wild-spired wastes. And here, we can see the Kulu taking a drink of water, completely ignorant of the Kestodons it just passed, or rather, just ignoring them, because again, they don't pose any natural threat to the Kulu. As you can see, after taking some drinks, he is scanning his surroundings, looking for potential predators. Let's keep following. Here we have another herd herbivore, known as the Apsaros. Now, unlike the Aptonoth, the Apsaros, when threatened, will attack in a herd, but they will not back down for nothing. As you can see, we have Kulu footprints. It has 2 claws, 3 toes, with 2 claws scraping the ground, and the 1 claw on the side. It tends to use these in jump attacks against prey. Here, we are at an egg site. This is where the Apsaros typically lay their eggs. We are going to observe the Kulu feast. As you can see here, it quickly grabs the eggs and runs off, knowing full well if it tries to eat them there, it will only trigger the Apsaros' anger, and they may attempt to kill it to save their young. However, it has passed a group of Apsaros, and they're immediately on the offensive. However, they are far too slow to catch up with the Kulu in time to save their young. Watch closely. I'm going to follow it to see where it deems as safe to feed. As you can see, it's running a great distance from the nest's original habitat. And it comes here to what is potentially its own lair on the side of the rock face cave. And here is where it eats. It cracks open the egg with its large frontal beak and feasts on the innards. And then, after eating, you can see the spurts of blood. It was clearly far along that particular egg. Once it is done with meal, it simply smashes it on the ground. Now finished, it will go about its regular business, or sleep. Here it is finished eating, so now it is laying down to rest. Waiting for the next moment, it feels the urge to feed on the eggs of the Apceros. Truly, a rather humorous-looking creature. And now it is time to hunt it. And as you can see, its first response is to howl. Is all the creature's local first response is to howl. A roar in an attempt to scare off any potential predators. As you can clearly see, it doesn't work for me. And Abitruella is currently pelting it with artillery. Up, and he's digging up. He has dug up a rock, and he'll now commence to try to use it as some type of blunt instrument. Even my highly honed weapon cannot go through the rock. It automatically causes deflection, and only very slight injury to its forelimbs. Showing remarkable use of tools in its surroundings. Now we'll see if we can mount the creature. Oh, as you can see, it will occasionally attack with enough force to even break whatever object it's holding. It surely is a strange creature. And we have severely damaged its frontal plumage. It should honestly, yes, we have severely injured it enough that it is weak enough to be caught. Now let's circle the creature. Now it is contemplating how to defend itself and attacking with its beak. Now then, we will try to lay a trap for it here. Directly underneath it. And the trap has been sprung. Now, as you can see, it does not like to be shocked. However, most things do not like to be shocked. Unfortunately, for this Kulu, I decided to pull out the electricity trap. And look at its very peacefully sleeping face. And thank you for watching this episode of Living with Monsters on the New World Geographic. Stay tuned for the next episode. The Kulu was severely injured in the making of this episode. Remember to like, comment, subscribe if you like and want to comment, subscribe. And remember to follow me on Twitter for channel updates, pictures, dogs, and cats, and whatever else I've decided to put up there. Goodbye, humans and non-humans alike, and good whatever applies to you.
Hi. Nick.